Okay, well, good afternoon. Welcome to what I believe is the best part of pageantry. We are very close to that, actually, interviews, right? And I know it's the one thing that you might even feel nervous about. That's what's giving you the jitters, is having to speak. I want you to welcome any opportunity to speak. This is where they said to me once when I started pageantry, is you win it at the interview to a great degree. So you want to welcome any opportunity to speak, right? And you may have been told to come be yourself. Well, I want you to do better than that. I want you to be your best self. And it's hard sometimes to know what that is. So I want you to imagine who you want to be ultimately. What does that version of you look like? How does she speak to people? How does she dress? How does she carry herself? That's who I want to see today and the rest of the week onwards in your life. In pageantry, I found to be a great big mirror, right? You really get to see yourself, especially when you don't walk out with the thing you came for. Even if you leave here without ultimately that title, you will grow probably even greater than the winners, I promise you. That was my story, my first pageant. I was first runner-up, which is a great accomplishment. But in that moment, I didn't think so. I usually shoot for the stars, but when you reflect, you look at all of the things that you've identified in yourself that you need to improve. That's invaluable. Do you know the closest thing to pageantry is working with like an image consultant, right? They look after your appearance, or A, B, C, D, E, or image consultant, appearance, body language, communication, etiquette, all of that. But pageantry is even better because you get judged. Remember, giving somebody the power to judge you, that's priceless. Even an image consultant can't do that. So imagine learning and growing in all of these different ways and then giving somebody the power to judge you. So no matter what happens, now you have a list of things you can grow from. Gosh, I want you to focus on that. And you know, on our flights here, if we were paying attention, the flight attendant said, should something happen, put your oxygen mask first, right? Before you help somebody. Well, that's life. We have to work on ourselves first. So if you're in pageantry for personal growth, for example, good. It's okay if that's your first priority before a little bit of that advocating. Because it's when you find yourself and you find your passions, then you know what to do with it. Then you know how to change this world, right? And that leads me to one of the most important things for me that I look for when I have the opportunity to judge. And I look for, what is it that you're here for other than personal growth? That will come. Whether you're ready for that or not, personal growth will come. But I want to hear a little bit more of what you will do with your platform, with your spotlight, because that's what it is. And you already being here, that's affirmation enough that you're on the right path. So can you give yourselves an applause? So imagine you win the title, any title, at any point in your pageant journey. What is it that you're doing with that? So articulate that to us. And I'll share that although today I have a pretty ambitious foundation, it's a cute name, but there was a day where it didn't have a name. I went into my first pageant without a name for my advocacy. I just knew at that time I wanted to share my experiences. I wanted to do community service and advocate and change the world, but I didn't really know what that looked like. So through pageantry, I was able to, again, self-reflect and bring my advocacy to life, and I hope that you do that. So if today what you're doing feels great, this is the smallest your advocacy will ever be, because one day you're going to give it a name, you're going to give it an identity, and you're going to have an amazing director like Annie who's going to take it global with you, right? And that's why I say just don't limit yourself to your own little community, because your change can be even greater, right? So although we've been saying create that content, I want you to create that change too, right? So Annie will give me an opportunity to talk about that in a little second. But that's the power of knowing what you want, talking about it, bringing people together so you can take what you're passionate about global. You're at an international pageant, for crying out loud, right? So you can't think of your cute little hometown, think beyond. It's one world, and what you stand for can value to no matter who or what part of the world they're in, right? So thank you for this opportunity. I cannot wait to hear from you. Remember, keep true to who you are, but the best version. Okay? Walk in today as who you will be.